McCown and Shannon back with you. Greg Millen is with us today. I'm surprised you two guys are up. I imagine you both watched till the end of last night's
Oh,
game. Did
there's
you?
no way that Millen watched the whole thing. There's not a chance.
Probably not, but I'm not going to reveal that this morning. I'm going to act like I saw the whole thing right from start to finish.
Well, I didn't waste a minute of my time watching any of the game. That being said, to go into almost 5 overtimes and play 5-on-5 during overtime, when during the regular season the game would be over in 5 minutes, playing 3-on-3. Tell me why we don't play 3-on-3 during the playoffs.
Well, I'll go a different way. Why don't we play 5-on-5 during the regular season?
Well, because we'd be up all night. That's
no,
why.
I get it, but then just do it for 10 minutes.
But isn't that the way we started? We did start that way.
And then do it for 10 minutes, then have your stupid shootout.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because there are hundreds of overtime games in an NHL season, and nobody gives a flying fadoo. Do you think
that
that's
watching not true?
Do you think watching 4 periods of scoreless hockey in the middle of the night is entertaining? Because I don't.
Well, how would you know? You didn't watch it.
That's exactly why I didn't watch it.
I don't know. I guess I'm a traditionalist. I mean, you're right, Bob. In theory, you're bang on for sure. I can't argue with you, but there's something that's still, part of the game that's kind of mysterious and fun, and everybody's talking about it today. There's no doubt about that, even though lots didn't see it. I don't know. I still love the overtime and playoffs, but in theory, in the new world, in this day and age, with everything going shorter and people needing more time to do other things, in theory, Bob, you're probably you're right.
This actually may have been the best thing to get attention to a conference final that people had forgotten was starting last night. And now, as you said, people talking about it, people will now, I might tune in on Saturday to watch and see if they'll go again to another quadruple overtime. I had to learn how to spell quadruple last night. So it was,
you and your must, Twitter, is that even allowed on that platform? I mean,
not full of crap, Shannon.
No, I'm having fun.
You are fun. Full of it.
It's fun
for a ridiculous hockey nut like you, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's
you'd watch all night if there was a game on.
But you know what? I must admit, had it gone 13 more seconds, I might have changed the location where I was watching the game, and I probably wouldn't have lasted until the start of the fifth period. So
Mickey wouldn't have let you. She wouldn't let you watch it up in the bed. No,
she doesn't care. No, she wouldn't let him go out in the bedroom. No, of course we don't know that he does that ever.
That's she would point, Bob.
Game or no game.
I might have been at the Fairfield Inn watching the rest of the game. So
exactly.
Well, look, I got to tell you, it's not just hockey. Overtime in any sport is fine for a period of time. The NBA, I think, with a 5-minute overtime, has long had the best idea.
But it's easy there. There's so much scoring, Bob, and so there is a better chance of. But
the NHL with playing 3-on-3, which they do during the regular season, gives you that opportunity too, to end it more quickly, which is exactly why they did it, and why they think the playoffs have to be different is crazy.
Yeah, I honestly can't argue with you in theory. I still just try to not let it go. But
I still like the tradition. I will say that this is the conversation that is occurring more and more and more after these long games occur. That why are we doing it? We don't do it for the regular season. Why are we doing it now? The World Cup, the football World Cup ends with penalty kicks. We saw that after 25 minutes in Qatar. I'm still not used to it. I'm not sure I would. I'm not sure I would.
It's not been very long since baseball said we go to 10 innings, we put a runner on second base, and we go from there. And basically the game ends
quickly
90% of the time after 10 innings. Yeah. It ends quick.
Do you like that? Do you like
I
that?
have sat at Exhibition Stadium and at the Sky Dome and watched 16, 17 inning games that went on till the middle of the night. And, when you do that, you think that's fine. I don't know whether you think it's great, but you think it's okay until you realize there's a better way to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit and watch a game all night.
I think
You know?
I think what'll change it all, Bob, as it always does, is money. So like
Sure.
are the sponsors really doing, is it doing them justice going to the middle of the night? What about the buildings, all the staff, the players, all of these things at the end of the day, I think we'll probably end up having a solution to this, and it'll be yours as you follow the money.
You know,
normal in sport. And so it's coming.
You know what was interesting last night? So I watched the TNT version of the game, and obviously there are no commercials during play. There's no stoppages for commercials during play in overtime, which makes overtime periods that much tougher on the players. When you think that you don't have 6 minutes of rest in playing time, but they didn't have any commercials in the intermission. So
they have no commercials left. They've run them all. So they'd all be bonuses, wouldn't they?
No, but you build into your sales packages. If we go to overtime, will you pay more? We build that. It's not a question of bonuses. It's a question of building in extra package. But they didn't have any, which I found interesting. I think in the end, you're right. The pressure is going to come from the networks more than anybody else, who are starting to pay, compared to the other leagues, real money for TV rights, and they're gonna put something on the table. I still remember sitting in a meeting in the mid-90s at the NHL office in New York, and Michael Eisner, who was the president of Disney at the time when they owned the Ducks, he suggested, well, this is stupid. We've got to go to like 30-minute periods and halftime and then do the shootout right away. So,
well, the shootout is a stupid way to end a hockey game.
So, well, I mean,
I don't think it has to be the shootout. It should be regular hockey, but the 3-on-3 doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
So what you're proposing, Bob, then is forget the shootout, which you do in the regular season because of time restraints.
Right.
So you're just saying 3-on-3 overtime until they score, and they're not going to go all night, which is probably a fair comment.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what I would do.
Yeah.
And then in playoffs, I do 3-on-3 as well. Yeah. You do it all year long. It's not that big a deal. And
maybe a compromise for the first 10 minutes or something and play hockey, and then I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of a hybrid to this.
Well, maybe it's 5-on-5 for the first overtime, 4-on-4 for the second overtime, and 3-on-3 for the third. And then we know
you're in the 3 overtimes now.
Yeah,
but it's still. But
that is stupid. You have
it's magical.
Baseball jumped upside down this year to shorten their games.
Yeah.
And they now average like 240 or
something.
something.
So what, in the American League Divisional Series that the Jays might play in, or the World Series this year, are we going to see the guy on second base?
I don't know. I don't know whether they do it in the postseason.
We're not.
We're
going to see traditional baseball.
What do you mean traditional? What do you mean old time baseball?
Yeah. No clock. No clock. I don't know, Bob. I'm just saying that people have, when they have made these adjustments to the game the way it's played, what they do is they say, well, we can do that in the regular season because we have so many games, but we don't want to damage the integrity of the game when we compare the World Series of
these are conversations had by stupid people with other stupid people. That's the problem with this. Is they are a bunch of people who
you're calling Paul Beeston stupid?
If he was involved in those conversations, yes.
Okay. I'm going to phone him and tell him you think he's stupid.
The answer is yes. Well, I know you're stupid.
I like old time hockey. So does Greg. Greg, what's the longest game you played in, Greg? I remember doing a game.
I can't remember. Well, it was the one in St. Louis. The St. Louis game. When I was with Pittsburgh.
Was it Mike Zook or Mike Crombeen?
Mike Crombeen. Yeah. Never forget it. Yeah.
Still I actually produced that game.
Bro, I didn't know that.
Wow. Yeah. I was 12.
And I was actually I was asleep that night, I can tell you.
Well, you weren't watching. You weren't even watching. You didn't care.
No, I don't.
You know what? I think we should end this because I agree with Bob that it's going to change. I understand John and I want to hang on to it, but it doesn't make sense. I mean, you're right. Really that we're going to have to figure this out at some point, and it's coming because the world's changing. And I think, John, we got to change with it, even though we don't really want to.
You mean
I think it's gonna change.